Hi, all my YouTube friends. Hope you guys are doing well. So I just want to give you guys a quick update or just answer all the May questions that there was. I think just in terms of tech stuff, what's happening this month is the month that we always take a little bit of a break because the last 2 months in April and May, we were doing all the pays and recons. So all those RP5s and stuff is at the receiver of revenue. They're getting all the last data together. So by next month, when the tax season opens the 1st of July, they will start pre-populating the returns so that when you log into your return, then your RP5 should be there, your RA should be there, medical aids and all that type of stuff. So they normally use the month of June just to make sure that everything is fine on their side. Right, so I see that there hasn't been that many questions in the last month, but let me quickly run through the ones that I do have here. So let me quickly run to the first one. Tepo Gonyani, how do I set up pro rata invoices on Xero? So I think I'm not going to log into Xero now, but basically what you would have to do is if you log into your system, any accounting system, a pro rata invoice is not really something that you would find on Sage or Xero or QuickBooks, any one of those things. So what the guys normally do is they would take something like a quote or something like that, and they would just rename that to say that that's the pro rata invoice, because a pro rata invoice is an invoice that is sent out, but it's actually not an invoice. It's something just like an interim type of an invoice, you see. So normally, the normal accounting standards, pro rata invoices is not something that you work with often, but there is a place where you can actually rename the documents. Instead of calling it a quote or something like that, then you can just go rename it to call it a pro rata invoice. So that is what my recommendation would be on that. It's not something that we come across often, but that is what I would suggest that you do. Andrew, a security question. We were talking about free and easy payroll software. Vanilla payroll. So I think that is also a very valid question, and that's obviously something that is always a risk. It doesn't matter what accounting package you use, what payroll package you use, is that people are going to register them, create fake payslips, and then they use those payslips to do weird stuff. Luckily these days, obviously the banks do further verifications. They don't only look at the payslips, they actually look at the amount of money that went through the account. I'm thinking about that one video that was out, or was a movie, I think, about this guy that scanned all the girls like that, where he would create fake payslips and stuff for the guys. They would use those payslips to apply for finance, and then they would, this guy stole like millions and millions of rand through that. So if you can remember what the name of that video was, then you can maybe put it in the comment below. And then, because I watched it the other day, and I can't believe how people are that scam. Yeah, so there is a risk. I think obviously the people that would use the payslips would actually pick that up, and they would look at it further. How do you claim the VAT, for example, on insurance, Marlene? So what would happen? Let me just quickly log into my Sage. Right, Marlene, I just logged into the demo company quickly. So if you had to go to banking transactions and you go to your bank account over here, there's 3 places where VAT gets allocated on Sage. So you can see over here is your selection. So if you say that you paid the telephone, over here you would say that it was VAT or no VAT or standard rate or whatever the case might be. So that is the place where the transactions actually start putting through to the VAT reports itself. The other places, I think you asked a question on insurance. So if it is obviously insurance that you pay, as for instance that one was insurance instead of electricity, then over there is the place that you would change the selection of which one it is. If it's expenses and you work with suppliers, then when you capture a supply invoice, then you'll have the option there as well to create the VAT on that supply invoice. Just remember that over here, if you choose to pay not an account, so remember the difference is suppliers you use when you know you're going to pay the account 30 days time or 60 days time, where this one over here, this one is just account, as you pay the stuff as it becomes due immediately the same month. So there's no delay in the payment itself. But if you make that selection supplier, then you can see now the VAT falls away. You can't do anything on that VAT block there. The reason being is, remember that VAT gets accounted for when you create the supply invoice and not when you're busy with the banking, and vice versa with clients as well. That answers your question. And when you save, does it automatically post it to the ledger accounts? That would be correct. So if I had to look at this, obviously these transactions are in March. If it's at the moment unallocated and I save it like that, and then on the income statement it will show inside an account which is unallocated transactions, that will be there. As soon as I said that it's got to go into electricity, then that amount will get allocated to that account over there. So it will definitely automatically do that. I hope that answers your question, Maureen. Very good question. Let's quickly have a look and see who else asked the question over here. Let me just scroll up a little bit. Sunny Dundon, thank you for the video. Oh, payroll systems. We are a small retailer and looking at moving to a payroll in-house. I'm a bookkeeper and your accounting experience is appreciated. Yes, so Sunny, I assume is your name. Get in touch with the guys at Vanilla Payroll. They're really lovely people. I actually chatted to them on email, and I think that is one of the advantages if you work with Vanilla Payroll, is that there's actually people that you work with. You're not just like a number, and if you have a complaint or something like that, they give you a case number and you gotta wait and wait and wait. With these guys, you pick up the phone, they sort out an issue. I remember in the week, or end of last week, we were doing payslips, and for some reason the client's information didn't appear. So I phoned the guy up, and like within 5 minutes I had my answers. There was just one of the selections that we did wrong, one of the filters on the selection. So get in touch with those guys. And Vanilla Payroll, I think if you had to dig around, you'll probably find people that's cheaper, but I can guarantee you won't find the people with the same amount of service that they can provide to you. Pride, let's quickly see. I'm earning a grant for my little sister. Will getting a tax number or registering on SARS not put me in trouble by forfeiting? Please help. Pride, I'm not sure if I fully understand the question over there. But if you apply for a grant and your tax number, I don't think they're related with each other. Unless if you apply for the grant and they do ask you for the tax number, then you actually have to provide it. But there's no benefit in terms of grants or stuff like that, as far as I know, of not having a tax number. Yes, because grants is normally not taxable when you receive it in the first place. Next question. Military personnel reduce the income tax liability since they are mostly out of the country. Can they use the 188 days to apply to residents and non-resident taxpayers? Yes, so if you do work out of the country and you are out of the country for longer than 183 days, then the money that you earned outside the country, there's some other rules as well. Remember, there's a 60-day rule as well, where 60 of those days has to be consecutive. Then a certain portion would be tax-free. They say that's 1.25 million rand as the exemption. So I think if in the military, I'm not sure whether you're going to be earning that amount of money. Yeah, but so the money that you do earn while you're overseas should in theory be tax-free. But always check with the tax consultant. Get a tax consultant that can help you with it. It's difficult to give an opinion without having all the facts in front of me. Heather, let's quickly see. Does Sage Cloud Accounting have the ability to store customer credit cards for automatic payment like Sage 50 does in the vault? Thank you. Not as far as I know, that because I know with Sage, if you work with Sage Pays, the system that they work with, I'm just not sure whether I'm going to be able to do it over here. No, it doesn't give you the option there to change company settings. But I know that one of the settings over there is to link it up with Sage Pay. Maybe if you give them a call, it might be possible, but I haven't seen it yet that you've got that option over there. So as far as I know, I don't think so, because there's obviously a risk. So even the guys that we link the bank accounts for that works on Sage, that information doesn't get stored by Sage itself. It's some company overseas that actually stores all the information on all the card details and stuff. Yeah, so I personally don't think it's possible. Let's quickly see. Here's another one. E-filing. Please help. Under the entity details registration number, do I insert the full registration number or only the numbers? The system is rejecting the company registration number. So what you must do, don't use the K number. You have to use the one that says 2021 dash. Then there's normally 6 digits, dash, and then 07. So those are normally the numbers that you've got to use. As soon as you put in the K numbers, then I know by default it normally doesn't work. It's a good question. And I remember, it wasn't with e-filing. There was one of their forms that gave the same error, that if you use the wrong format, then it kicked it out. It would reject the number. So it's got to be your year, 2021 or 2022 / then 6 digits / 07 or 08 or 09, depending on the type of business that you've got registered over there. Cool. Hope that helps. Let's quickly see. Motuko Mofokeng, thank you. This really helps a lot. The only question I have is that it's possible to get an LLC in South Africa? And if so, how do you go about getting one? Thank you in advance. Yup, that's a good question. I don't think there's such a term as LLCs in South Africa, but I'm going to put you on to guys. And if you go to this and you say register company, and you go search for these guys, they're called SA Registrations, and they help me with all my stuff when it comes to registering companies or changing directors or anything like that. If you need to have it done, contact these guys. There's two ladies working in the office there, Karna and Charlize. They will definitely give you all the directions, everything. You can see there's the private companies, personal liability companies, non-profit. They do everything related with registration. So these are the guys who chat to. They're definitely going to be able to give you the right advice over there. Let's quickly see. I think that is all the questions for the month of May. Yeah, it's lekker. It means that the content that I'm putting out there is good. If there's anything that you guys want extra done on the channel, any ideas and stuff, please put it in the comments so we can start working on these videos for you guys. And yeah, always lovely to catch up. It's always lovely to see all the comments. You guys really inspire us to keep on going. And yeah, remember to like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next video. I've got a good one coming up. I just finished recording it today. Cool, man. Chat later. Bye.